Imagine living in a city where the ground beneath your feet never truly feels stable. In Pozzuoli, Italy, more than 50 earthquakes rattle the region in just 1 week. Tiny tremors. Yes, but each one carrying a chilling message. Scientists are asking, is this the start of something much bigger? Campi Flegrei, the so-called supervolcano hiding beneath Naples, has a terrifying history. It has erupted before with catastrophic power, reshaping landscapes and threatening civilizations. Now, with the earth rising, cracks widening, and swarms of quakes shaking daily life, the question is unavoidable. How close are we to the next disaster? For the families living here, every rumble in the night feels like a warning. Parents clutch their children, staring at walls that vibrate as if whispering secrets from deep underground. Stay with me. Scientists are racing to measure gas levels, magma pressure, and ground deformation, but no one can say when or how this restless giant might awaken. Because what I'm about to share will not only explain why Campi Flegrei is shaking right now, but also reveal the hidden dangers scientists fear most. And trust me, once you hear the full story, you'll never look at the ground beneath Naples the same way again. The swarm of more than 50 quakes that struck Pozzuoli this past week wasn't random. Most were shallow, with magnitudes between 1.0 and 2.1, but their clustering sends a powerful signal. Shallow quakes often mean pressure building closer to the surface, exactly what scientists worry about in volcanic zones. Instruments run by Italy's INVI have confirmed that the ground is not only shaking, it's rising. Since January 2024, Julie has experienced measurable uplift, with the land slowly swelling upward. Although the rate has slightly slowed in recent months, the quakes prove the underground system is still restless, constantly shifting and releasing stress. Pozzuoli is no stranger to this. Locals call it bradisism, the slow rising and falling of the land, caused by magma and gases pushing their way upward. Entire streets here have a history of cracking, tilting, and even sinking, leaving scars that remind people of the volcano's hidden strength. But this time feels different. AI models used by Stanford and INVI have recently uncovered hidden earthquake swarms from the past few years that humans missed. Thousands of tiny tremors, almost like a heartbeat, reveal a pattern of growing unrest. If the data is correct, Campi Flegrei may now be closer to a breaking point than at any time in recent memory. For scientists, the biggest fear is not a giant eruption striking out of nowhere. It's the chain of warning signs that could spiral out of control. Small swarms may suddenly grow into hundreds of quakes per day, shaking buildings and panicking residents. Gas emissions could spike, poisoning the air with sulfur, while steam vents hiss louder than ever. Already, residents of Pozzuoli report unusual odors, like rotten eggs drifting through the streets, classic signs of sulfur dioxide leaking from deep below. Each foul smell is more than an annoyance. It's a reminder that magma is releasing its breath. And as history shows, when gas release increases, pressure inside the system is shifting dangerously. History is the shadow haunting Campi Flegrei. Nearly 40,000 years ago, this supervolcano produced one of the most violent eruptions in human prehistory, covering Europe in ash and possibly reshaping early human survival. Even its smaller eruptions centuries later forced mass evacuations and scarred entire towns. The last eruption here, in 1538, was small compared to its ancient blasts, but it permanently changed the coastline, raising new land from the sea. Imagine living in a place where the ground itself can rise, fall, and break apart within days. That same restless power still stirs below Naples today, and every quake reminds locals that history could repeat. Modern monitoring systems keep watch over Campi Flegrei day and night. Dozens of seismometers record even the smallest tremors. GPS stations track the rise and fall of the land to the millimeter, and satellites scan for heat and gas escaping from hidden fractures. Scientists at Italy's INVI combine this data to detect patterns that the human eye alone might miss. One breakthrough came when artificial intelligence was applied to decades of seismic record. The algorithm uncovered hidden swarms of microquakes, tiny jolts too subtle to notice but forming recognizable clusters. These clusters often appeared before stronger activity, revealing that the volcano has been restless more often than people realized. This hidden restlessness raises the stakes for what might come next. For people living above this giant, Life is a constant gamble. Pozzuoli and the western edge of Naples sit inside the caldera itself, meaning nearly 500,000 people are directly exposed to whatever Campi Flegrei does next. Italian civil protection has prepared evacuation plans, but experts warn that moving so many people in time would be a race against the clock. The official alert level today is still yellow, meaning scientists are watching closely, but no eruption is imminent. Yet every fresh swarm of quakes renews the anxiety. Families sleep uneasily, wondering if the shaking will stop by morning or grow stronger. For them, science isn't just theory, it's survival. And every update from ENV can decide whether to stay or flee. History itself is a warning carved into the land. The last major eruption of Campi Flegrei happened in 1538, creating the Monte Nuovo crater in just a few days. Records from that time describe the ground shaking, the sea boiling, and villages being buried beneath ash. While small compared to the monster eruptions of the past, it showed the world that this volcano is not silent. It only sleeps. Go even further back, around 39,000 years ago, and the picture becomes terrifying. That eruption was so massive it spread ash across Europe and parts of Russia, cooling the climate for years. Some scientists even link it to the decline of Neanderthals. Standing in Pozzuoli today, people are literally living on top of one of the largest eruption scars in human history. Despite these chilling reminders, daily life in Naples continues almost as if nothing is wrong. Cafes buzz, children play near the harbor, and tourists walk on Roman ruins that were lifted out of the sea by past volcanic movements. Yet beneath this normalcy lies tension, because Bradisism is raising the ground again, and quakes are becoming more frequent. Authorities conduct evacuation drills and town hall meetings, but locals admit many would not leave unless the situation turned truly dire. Some fear losing their homes more than the volcano itself. Scientists warn, however, that waiting too long could be deadly. The challenge is not just predicting the eruption, it's convincing 500,000 people to trust the warning before it's too late. Every tremor, no matter how small, is like a message from deep below. Scientists read these signals carefully, measuring gases, tracking uplift, and mapping hidden faults. Each clue adds to a puzzle that could decide life or death for hundreds of thousands. But the truth is, even the best technology cannot guarantee exact timing. The volcano holds its secrets and humanity waits. For viewers around the world, this is not just Naples' problem. Campi Flegrei is a reminder that we all live on restless ground. A supervolcano does not erupt often, but when it does, its reach is global, affecting skies, climate, and even the food we eat. That's why the world is watching every shake beneath Pozzuoli. So what happens next? Will these swarms fade away? Or are they building towards something far greater? No one knows for sure, but ignoring the signs is not an option. Stay alert, stay informed. And if you want to keep tracking the truth behind the world's most dangerous volcanoes, subscribe now to the Story Vault, because this story is far from over.